Batman has taken on a lot of criminal underworlds during his time as the Caped Crusader, from simple Gotham City mafias to the globe-spanning League of Assassins to the ever-secretive Court of Owls. But can he match and take on the world of John Wick, the Continental, and the High Table? If he somehow uncovers evidence of a secret world of hitmen and assassins that stretches across the entire globe, which honestly wouldn't be very hard, they're pretty out in the open about it. Can Batman hope to expose them, taking down the High Table, dismantling the Continental? Well, today, that's what we're gonna find out. What's up guys, I'm Daniel and this is DanCo. We do fight breakdowns every week, plus the occasional power ranking video like this one or things like that. So if that seems interesting to you, we'll sit back and enjoy the video. Hit that like button. If you want to, we'll hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Now let's get to it. So first things first, let's explain just what exactly the High Table is in the John Wick universe. Basically, it's the head of all crime. It's a council of 12 crime lords that govern all the underworld's most powerful criminal organizations, making it without question the ultimate authority in the underworld. The origins for the High Table are unknown, but it's been described as larger and older than any government on Earth, implying that its foundation was all the way back in ancient times. They've got so many organizations, so many resources, so many politicians and police forces and bureaucrats in their pockets that they can basically do whatever they want with virtual impunity. Even John Wick, the Baba Yaga, even he's got to bow to them at some point. Even he's got to play under the rules of the High Table. They're just that powerful. And if anyone serving under the table ever steps out of line or breaks one of the rules, well, they'll come after you with a vengeance. First, they'll put a bounty on your head, an open contract, allowing any one of the millions of hitmen around the world to take a shot at you. And if that doesn't work, say you're able to fight them all off, well, the High Table will come after you themselves. Send one of their elite death squads after you, with body armor so good and so bulletproof that it would make Batman himself jealous. Or maybe they'll just send one of the countless deadly assassins after you. Assassins that are pretty much on par with John Wick in terms of skill. Okay, maybe not directly the same as John, and probably none of them are actually more skilled than Wick himself, but a lot of them come pretty freaking close. Basically, the High Table has a lot of firepower it can throw your way. And because of that, well, we're going to be using Batman from the comics. I think that's the most fair shot for one man, even a man like Batman, to actually be able to take down an organization of this scope and power. Because, I mean, any Batman from the movies, well, they'd be massacred by the High Table and all their elite assassins. I mean, there isn't a single live-action Batman that is explicitly a better and more skilled fighter than John Wick. And he really struggled to fight his way out. Not even to mention that Batman doesn't kill or use guns, so that's just gonna make it even harder for him. So, safe to say, they're all gonna have trouble with these fighters, these death squads, and their bulletproof armor. Don't think any version of Batman would make it out a lot of these situations. And besides, we haven't even really seen any Batman from any movie be all that successful at dismantling crime organizations anyways, besides The Dark Knight. And that's just a few crime bosses and gangs in one city, not taking down an entire global cabal. So we have to use comics Batman to make it a fair fight. Now with that, Batman is going to be able to easily plow through any fighter that the High Table can send his way. Easy. Like, let's say, open contract on the Batman, $50 million, and everyone in the world wants to cash in. Well, honestly, that's not a problem for Batman. The most people that John Wick took on at one time would be, what, 50? Maybe 50 people in the catacombs? I mean, sure, there were more people when there were open contracts on him in New York and in Paris, but they kind of came after him in groups as he made his way throughout the city. I'm talking the most people in one specific location. Well, Batman here has taken down groups of 20, 30 armed men. He's taken down groups of 40, 50 armed men. He's even taken down and fought his way through hundreds of armed men all at once. You think an open contract on Batman is gonna faze him one bit? The guy is a one-man wrecking crew, regularly able to take down small armies. Guess a lot like John Wick in that way, except he does it all non-lethally, which I guess is even more impressive if you really think about it. And if he runs into anybody with some particularly impressive body armor, well, it won't be anything that Batman hasn't seen before. He's regularly been able to hurt and take down people who are straight up bulletproof, not just wearing bulletproof armor. So I don't think it's going to be too much for Batman. And then with all those elite assassins, the ones near John's level, well, they might be near John's level, but they're nowhere close to Batman's. Master of 127 different forms of martial arts, able to combine it all into a single unique style of fighting, can react without conscious thought, can predict his opponents and know their next move before even they do. Batman would look at the assassins in the John Wick universe and laugh. They're nothing to him, not even John Wick. And yeah, Batman really is that good. But the scaling is also just that wonky when you're comparing live action movies to a comic book. John Wick is an incredible fighter, superhumanly good at killing, but he's still got to be grounded in reality at least a little bit. Batman's reality in the comics consists of people in tights flying around with the power of 20 thermonuclear warheads. So of course it's not that big of a leap to say he could master over 100 different martial arts. That's just how this goes. So all this is looking pretty good for Batman, right? I mean, he's a more capable fighter than anyone the High Table can throw at him, and it's not like the High Table is necessarily operating in secret either. They're just out in the open with all their business, killing people in the middle of the streets, legit running hotels, so you always know where to find them. Batman shouldn't have much of a problem tracking them down. And if John Wick can kill members of the High Table, again, surely Batman can beat them. Well, I guess that kinda depends on what we mean by beat the High Table. Because if it means taking down the 12 members of the High Table and the Elder, well then Batman can do that. He can find out where they're hanging out, fight his way through all their guards and assassins, take them down, throw some bat cuffs on them, and promptly take them to jail, where they're immediately released because they own the police, because they own everybody. All it takes is one of those little gold coins and they're right back out on the streets. And that's the problem. In order to actually take down the High Table and keep them locked away, because remember, Batman won't just kill them. Batman actually has to take down the entire organization in order to make sure they don't just keep on coming out of jail, or make sure that new people don't just replace them as new members of the High Table. And that is way easier said than done. For starters, Batman doesn't actually have the best track record for cleaning up these kinds of criminal underground organizations. The League of Assassins, still operational. The Court of Owls, still going. Even most of the gangs and mafia in Gotham City itself, the Falcones, the Maronis, they're still out there on the streets too. Sure, Batman will combat these groups, he'll force them back if they start growing too big. He'll foil some of their more outrageous plans. He's a constant thorn in their side. But to actually eliminate a group like the League of Assassins, well, that's just something that we've never seen from him before. I don't even know if it's possible for Batman to do. He throws a crime boss in jail, the boss is either released from the jail or a new boss takes his place. That's usually how it plays out. And if you take down too many crime bosses at the same time, well, that could just lead to open gang warfare in the streets of Gotham, something that's actually happened in the comics before. And none of this is even mentioning the sheer size of this underground world in John Wick that the High Table rules and controls. I mean, you've got the High Table itself, those 12 families. Then you've got all the Continentals, hotels spread out all over the world. Then you've got administration departments, which are spread out all over the place too. Then some bigger players under the table like the Bowery and the Frescaroma. But even they're just in New York. Safe to say there are similar organizations all over the world too. Now, if Batman started taking members of the High Table down, any one of these people underneath the table will be more than happy to start making power moves and grab a recently opened spot. So if Batman actually wants to officially dismantle the High Table, he's got to take all of them out too. Or the High Table might just reform itself with some fresh new members. But it doesn't just stop there. As the John Wick movies went on and this world ever expanded, it became more and more obvious that this secret underground world of assassins and hitmen wasn't actually a secret or underground at all. Every random hobo is an assassin. That guy drinking his coffee over there, he's got a gun on his hip. That girl who just checked her phone, she got an update on a new bounty. You walk down the street, and probably the majority of the people you walked past were actually highly trained killers. You hop in a random taxi and hand the driver a secret assassin coin, and he knows exactly what to do. The John Wick universe just kept on growing and growing, to the point where you begin to stop wondering how an organization this big could stay a secret, and start wondering if there were actually any real civilians out there. Is literally everyone a hitman here? Honestly, I'm not even sure how Batman would even begin untangling an organization of this scope, with this much infiltration into the society. I mean, the police are a part of it. The freaking garbage collectors are a part of it. Everyone is a part of it. In order for Batman to take down the High Table, he would effectively have to lead a massive social change movement. Start running PSAs in the school. Say no to becoming an assassin. By asking Batman to defeat the High Table, you're not asking him to take down just another version of the League of Assassins or the Court of Owls. You're effectively asking him to stop all crime, to defeat what feels like the majority of this world's population. And since he's not going to kill any of them, to implement massive political reform on a global scale to just make sure that all these people stay in jail. And for as much as we all love Batman, don't think even Batman is capable of that. The reality is that Batman will treat the High Table just like he treats the League or the Court. He'll fight them, he'll try and stop them, he'll probably be a constant pain in their side. But he's just going to end up going back and forth with them for eternity, never able to actually put them down for good. Or at least that's how I see it playing out. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're going to have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.